Oh, that's the right button.
Yeah, oh my gosh. Wait.
Smack me, it's.
Ready. We're good, we're live now, okay.
I call the January 6th meeting of the BCA to order. And Ms. Owens, will take the roll.
Mr. Brady,
Here.
Mr. Brindle,
Present, kinda.
Mr. Rainey,
I'm here.
and Mr.
Here.
That's four constitutes quorum.
Okay, the next item on our agenda is election of officers. I'll entertain nominations for president. Once all nominations are made, we'll ask for a vote. If the president changes, you will pass the gavel off to that person. Yeah,
So you can stop there.
okay.
So, yeah, we just need to entertain any motions for president. I think Ted has been president, that doesn't mean you have to nominate.
Okay.
I nominate Ted Bill, I like Ted. He's okay. Do we have a second?
We have a second. It doesn't have to be.
I'll second
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
it. Aye.
Aye, I guess.
Just enjoy your, it's all good.
Vice President.
Yep, so now we'll entertain nominations for vice president.
I'll nominate Pam.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
You go on to minute.
Okay, it's now time to consider the September 24th, 2025 minutes. Are there any corrections?
I move the minutes from September 24th be approved as printed.
I'll second that.
I'll do the roll call vote. Mr. Brady,
Yes.
Mr. Brindle,
Present, yes.
Mr.
Yes.
Rainey,
Yes.
Mr. Engineer.
Yes.
Okay. Are there any requests for continuance?
Yeah, I think we have one to see or one to see.
Okay.
Pat Ernie here, we have the particulars for all the R9 Trucking Inc. It's they're adjacent properties, but staff had me split it into two separate petitions, so I don't know if you want me to do them at the same time or separately.
You can do them at the same, they can consider the same.
So it's VAR 2025-05 and VAR 2025-04. And we are requesting a 60-day continuance to the March 3rd hearing. We just heard from a neighbor, the Hancock Health Organization, and they had some specific and really substantive commitments that they wanted. And so that was just yesterday that we heard from them on those. So that's the reason.
Okay.
Typically, the petitioner is allowed kind of continuance, up to the board, but you'll need to make a motion, or in your motion, make sure you include the date of March 3rd, 2026. The time 6 p.m. in this room, and that will serve as notice, for the continuance.
Is there any paperwork to fill out for that? No? Okay. Is there a motion for a continuance to March the 3rd, 2026? For further meeting?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll say.
Okay.
I'll call the roll. Mr. Brady,
Yes.
Mr. Brindle,
Yes.
Mr. Manzi,
Yes.
Mr. Keeper. Okay, so cases SE 2025-04 and SE 2025-05 are continued to the March 3rd BZA meeting. It'll be 6 p.m. in this room.
Thank you.
You will not get any notice.
Thank you.
Okay, is there any old business?
No.
Okay. New business. 12114 East Washington Street requesting a use variance to allow the extension of the existing auto repair use located at 12114 East Washington Street. This is a public hearing. The public hearing will be conducted as following. The petitioner will have 15 minutes to present their case. Some of this time can be reserved to allow for a longer rebuttal. Staff will present the staff report. I will open the public hearing and the public will have 10 minutes total to speak. Please do not repeat concerns or questions so that everyone has a chance to speak. At the end of the 10 minutes, the BCA may consider extending the public hearing. The public hearing will close and the public will no longer be permitted to speak. Petitioner will have 5 minutes for rebuttal. This may be expended by any unused time during their presentation. BCA members will then deliberate the case. Okay, so.
And so the petitioner, if the petitioner will first.
So we're just adding a 20 by 38 bay to the west side of that facility. When we do it, it's attached to the building. It looks exactly like the addition that we added in 2022. It's just to further the community. Anybody's driven by, just kind of see how busy they are and how much the community really needs them. Need another bay, and just help out the community.
All right. You have a staff report?
Yep. So for the staff report, the applicant is, Parker, the owners of AKA LLC. The requested action this evening is, variance from use to allow the existing auto repair to expand. The current zoning is B1, which does not permit auto repair. This is an existing, business. It's considered legal non-conforming. You have the references for the business, use matrix as well as the ordinance section on non-conforming uses. The subject property is at the northwest corner of Randy and East Washington Street, 12114 East Washington Street. It's about 1.03 acres. The surrounding land use is primarily commercial or undeveloped, all zoned B1 as well. Just a summary and background, many years ago, this was a filling station. Over the years, that use changed to auto repair. It was legally established and permitted at the time it changed over. The zoning districts have changed since then, and that use is just no longer a permitted use in the B1 district. So section 0015, 153-19.4, states that the use can legally continue but not be expanded. And so the petition is actually requesting use variance to permit the auto repair on the property for the purpose of an expansion. And so if permitted, this would make it a legal permitted use instead of the legal non-conforming use.
Okay.
So in our analysis of the findings, the staff has reviewed the petition. We find that the proposed variance will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, general welfare of the community, because the property already is used for auto repair. Further, the site's large enough for the building and use to be expanded. The use and value of the area adjacent to the property included in the variance will not be affected substantially adverse manner because the use exists already, and so there should not be an impact on. The variance arises from some condition peculiar to the property. Property was originally constructed as a filling station, has been retrofitted over the years for auto repair. The property in its current design has limited uses. And so, because of that, makes it a little bit peculiar. The strict application of the terms of the zoning ordinance results in a practical difficulty in use of the property again, because it's already an existing legal non-conforming use, and without the variance, the petitioner's business will not be allowed to grow in that location. And that building really is designed for auto, repair at this time. And comprehensive planning calls for commercial in this area, and so that use is consistent, in that area. And so staff is recommending approval of variance, 2025.
Okay, I'll open the public hearing and move up to the last 10 minutes to speak.
You can go ahead and sit down.
Thank you.
Yeah, if there's any public that wishes to speak on the 12114 East Washington Street case, now is the time. Hearing no one, you can close it.
Okay. I guess the public hearing will close. And, there really is no rebuttal because it was no public comment.
Is there anything else?
I'm hearing, with the echoing, I'm having a little trouble hearing. Is this like the building behind the current like muffler shop, or is it to the east or west, or?
It's directly to the west. The frontage of the building will stay the same, it's just one bay over to the west.
Okay, so closer
Attached
to
to
the
these, attached to
speedway?
these.
Okay,
Yeah, and this is that northwest corner at Grammy and 40, you have the canopy and then the existing building, for what was once that filling station, and it's auto repair now. So the buildings stay the same, and if the use is granted, they'll be applying for permit to expand the building.
okay,
That answer your question?
yes,
So I guess.
if there's,
Right.
Yeah, you guys deliberate, so any questions from the board, you can ask the petitioners.
Question for you. You mentioned these non-conforming, so now get into.
It'll make it a legal use. So it'll make the use conforming because you're approving the variance.
Okay. And by that, like on future expansion of the property, they will on.
Not for a use variance. Now, if there's a development standards issue down the road with an extension, there's potential for something like that. But for the use, no, the use would, this would run with the. So essentially, you're making the use legal, so if they want to expand again, they wouldn't have to come back to you guys for the use. Hey, do you have any other questions?
no, I'm good.
You guys can't huddle. You have to talk out loud so we can all hear.
Okay, overall, yes. There's a couple of different things to consider is you're driving down that corridor on 40. You get right outside of town and everything kind of opens up. Views some of the businesses before that. It just looks very clean. The landscaping is nice through there. And then you kind of get to your guys' site and it, I don't want to say it's an eyesore, but you guys have an extensive amount of vehicles that are constantly parked there. So, and the idea that Cumberland is going to be extending that median down through there and extending that landscaping and trying to beautify the area. I'd love to talk about ways to potentially help us improve the visual aspect of that, based on your frontage. I understand that there's a lot of businesses down through there, like the pizza place, for example, you know, they might have 5 times the amount of traffic that you guys have during the day, but it's continually circulating. So you only have like 10 cars in the parking lot at one time, so you don't really notice that when you're out there. I don't know if I can give a recommendation to either doing maybe like a 6 foot opaque fence or, maybe some landscaping through there. When I look at your guys' lot line, it does look like the state, right away through there is pretty much that concrete entrance. Your guys' curve. So in order to do the landscaping, I feel like that'd be kind of extensive. You have to probably rip out some of that parking lot, probably 5 to 6 foot, and then do landscaping and do there, as where the fence might be a little less intrusive. And then the second part of that is like the visual that it's an old gas station canopy, right? And you guys are kind of using it for coverage, but the front of it looks really old and outdated. You can kind of see, almost down the bare metal in some places, but maybe get that painted and brought back up. And not only is that for you guys and making everything on the feeling, but also the double check the three that it all holds up comments.
I think for the building exterior, that's probably outside of purview as far as any kind of condition. For the use variance, but for the vehicle parking, I wonder behind the fence, is there room to park more vehicles back there, so maybe there's less parked in the front of the building?
Yes, it all just depends on the level of business that we have for day to day. We do try to keep the back lot full, just to try to keep the eyesore up. But for the past, I don't know, maybe 4 years, we've been so swamped, we don't know what to do with the vehicles. Big thing with having this extra bay is it's gonna make our turnaround time a lot better, those cars aren't gonna be parked out there anymore. And we'd love to have discussion on if you'd like some improvements, then we'd love to talk about it.
But the bay will help turn those cars over and you have less cars in the parking lot in front.
Yeah, but there's some.
Yeah, that's a very good question, so,
The additional turnover.
yeah, so, I mean, that would be the only thing, I think. If you wanted to address the parking in the front as far as trying to reduce the number, casino one in the back, but, yeah, I mean,
Seems to be like that. This, so like two county members that have done like other similar things where they like limited the amount of vehicles you could have in the front, they just guys things to work, so trying to find, something that you guys fully utilize your property, but also bring the town.
yeah, I think that I have concerns putting a fence up, because especially with it being a corner lot, you're gonna run into some, traffic issues with visibility, there's like triangles, and then you also have kind of a solid fence versus it, so I'm not sure the fence.
Well, if you do
is
the,
there.
so I looked at the side triangle too, it does look like inbound, but that in consideration whenever they put that gas station in. So even if you don't go back to that first line, it's like, okay. You guys also locked into having 4 access points to the site, which is like unheard of development, it's super good for you guys. But maybe like a staggered okay, something like that might be better, just trying to think of ways to bring.
Yeah, so the zoning ordinance would require variance. The zoning ordinance in the front yard limits fencing, it has to be to 4 feet in height, and it has to be open. So run into some concerns, with committing, adding a condition that. And then our national road overlay, I think, has some stricter standards as far as fencing in the front yard. So just things to consider ultimately is the key test. As far as your recommendations and that, but I'd be a little bit hesitant to have fencing, condition in the front.
I'm not the only board member here, so.
Yeah.
I'm hands out of that, but if we recommended, like even the 4 foot fencing, is that something that we can get checked after the meeting for like final approval, make sure that it's compliant with what they can do?
I mean, I can tell you that if it's a 4 foot, that's permitted, but it has to be open, more like a ticket style versus an opaque solid.
Okay.
That's what the ordinance would, limitation would.
I'm not sure if that would improve the plan really that much. It's only 4 foot. And I don't know if it would even look right in that kind of situation. But I think being able to turn over, if they get an extra bay, they can turn things on quicker. Hopefully, the front will be more sparsely populated with cars in the future. And they can hopefully keep everything they're working on alongside on that block fence, so, I don't see big issues with it personally, And it's one of those things that go along, you know, as far as like painting and that kind of thing, you do that on your own, you know. If it gets really bad, then there are ones for people in the town to address that, you know, they can file complaints, whatever.
You know, 8 to 10 more cars a day getting out of there with that extra bay would certainly help that situation.
For sure.
He keeps his place up really nice. They just repainted the whole thing about last year, before that, the building looks good.
Okay.
And maybe we're looking at, extending the fenced area in the back so that maybe more vehicles could park in the back.
Okay.
Do we individually say?
No, so if there's no other questions, if you would accept, then you would look for a motion, so one of the other three members then we need to make a motion, and you have a blank worksheet that you guys can use. You'll need to fill out and the right things, and then if there's any conditions that you want to, add onto that, or you push you have.
Okay.
You need a copy.
I think I'm gonna want.
Here, you go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to make a motion, you want me to?
You need to fill out the form first, and then make a motion.
That's completely up to you guys. And if you're, I was gonna say, if you're ready to go, you can
I'm ready to
remember.
go. Okay. Okay, for, case number variance 2025-03 at 12114 East Washington Street. I move that we approve variance 2025-03, a variance to allow a auto repair in B1 district be approved as having satisfied the requirements for variance under state law for the following reason. The approval will not be injurious to public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the committee for the reasons stated in our planning report, also in the petitioner's application, and for the reasons the petitioner stated during the hearing. Number two, the use and value of the area adjacent to the property included in variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner for the reasons stated in the second report. Also, as in the petitioner's application and for reasons stated during the hearing. Three, the need does arise from some condition peculiar to the property because of the reasons stated in the planning or staff report, for the reasons stated in the petitioner's application, and for the reasons stated during the hearing. Number four, the strict application of the terms of the zoning ordinance will result in a practical difficulty in the use of the property. For the reasons stated in the Cumberland staff report, and as also stated in the petitioner's application and stated during the hearing. Lastly, the use does not substantially conflict with the town's comprehensive plan for the reasons stated in the Cumberland planning staff report and in the petitioner's application for the variance and for reasons stated during the hearing. So I move that this approval be made with no conditions.
I second that.
I'll second it.
Or taking second.
Yeah, that works. So you have a motion and a second, I'll do the roll call, for you. Mr. Brady,
I approve, yes.
Mr. Brindle,
Yes, approve.
Mr. Mansky,
Yes, approved.
Mr. Keeper.
Yes.
So that's four, it carries your approved, to move forward, so.
Thank you all. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you guys so much.
Thanks.
Yes, have a good night. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
We have any other business?
No, we do not, at this time, there's no items for our February meeting, so our next meeting would be March on 3rd. 6 P.M. in this room, and that would be to consider the special exceptions, that were continued to
By the way, it was 80 degrees and sunny here in St. Thomas today.
Thanks for the
You
update.
feel bad for reason. Yes, sir.
Is there no hearing on the special?
So they requested a continuance to the March, sixth hearing. And so that's what was, I'm sorry, March third. And so the board granted that. So the hearing will be March third.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Assume that you probably have some details for that. Yeah. Okay.
I don't have any other, anything else for you. sir.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion?
Yes.
Come
Second.
on, Terry, just need a motion.
Well, did already have a motion?
We have a motion, we need a second.
Second.
Meeting adjourned.
Yep, you're good, thank you all.
Yeah, Terry did, I mean.
Ted, you made it, you're gonna make it to dinner.